Rosie Cooper is the local MP for West Lancashire. She's my local MP, and back in 2013 I brought to her attention some serious issues where Lancashire police were protecting a police informant and allowing the police informant to commit crimes against my family. Rosie Cooper was apparently renowned for being like a dog with a bone. She wouldn't take no for an answer from any authority when she wanted to find something out. So when I took my problems to Rosie Cooper, I wasn't surprised that she was very interested to hear everything that me and my wife told her. We provided her with evidence of what was going on, and she took it upon herself to act on our behalf and take this problem to the Chief Constable of Lancashire Police. That's Andy Rhodes at the time. Rosie put it in no uncertain terms to Andy Rhodes: "Why are you allowing a police informant to attack an innocent man?" Andy Rhodes, or Lancashire Police as I'll now refer, responded saying, "We're looking into everything. You don't need to worry yourself about this." And this continued for months. Rosie persistently asked questions and the police persistently responded with, "We're investigating ourselves." It's fair to say that Rosie Cooper, as an individual and as an MP, realised that my family had a significant problem that was brought about by Lancashire Police. Lancashire Police never gave any reasonable response to why they were doing what they were doing and in any way prevented what they were doing. In 2017, Rosie Cooper was herself a victim, and she herself required the assistance of Lancashire Police, as I did. Lancashire Police obviously took the threats against her very seriously, and the man, or the terror suspect, was quickly apprehended and dealt with, albeit he wasn't imprisoned. But Lancashire Police did do what many would say is a good job. From this point on, from when Rosie Cooper received a good service from Lancashire Police, Rosie Cooper apparently seemed to turn her back on us. So even though she had supported us and clearly understood and witnessed what Lancashire Police had done to us, she no longer wanted to help us because she'd now received a good service from Lancashire Police and didn't want to challenge them because they'd helped her. As she is our local MP and she knew how poorly I'd been treated by Lancashire Police, for want of a better word, I petitioned to Rosie Cooper that she help us, use her powers, her parliamentary powers, to insist or to try and get some sort of investigation. She refused. I continued to contact Rosie Cooper thinking she was acting untoward and felt that maybe she had some undisclosed information from the Chief Constable about me that maybe she was keeping from me. So based on that suspicion, I undertook my lawful right to do a subject access request. Rosie was infuriated by the fact that I'd utilised a lawful procedure to get my personal data that she held, and she was infuriated and sent an employee round to my place of work who dumped it on the counter. And from that point on, Rosie then sent me a cease and desist letter telling me that my communication with her as an MP was causing her harassment and being disruptive, when effectively all I was doing was asking my MP for help, and made a subject access request. So my question is, why is Rosie Cooper turning her back on a constituent? The same constituent who has now sued Lancashire Police, the Chief Constable, for £35,000 for his failures that she was aware of. I've also sued the Chief Constable for another £12,500 for a data breach relating to the police informant that Rosie Cooper was asking about. That data breach was about a 13-year-old child that Lancashire Police still didn't investigate the police informant for. This is a 13-year-old child, but Lancashire Police paid out nearly £12,000 in compensation for that incident. There have been other compensation claims against Lancashire Police that Rosie Cooper is well aware of, and yet she's still not looking into this any further. She's been told by Lancashire Police that they're dealing with it, and she's washed her hands of this. That's our MP. I've shown her evidence of how Lancashire Police are wasting public money, spending hundreds of thousands of pounds on legal bills, trying to cover this up and trying to pay me off, if you like, out of court. And the local MP, Rosie Cooper, has an obligation to act in the best interests of the constituents, to support the local funds, the funds that go to Lancashire Police, which are paid by the constituents, and yet she's turning a blind eye to this. Recently, after another data breach that involves the ICO gave me a right to appeal to the Parliamentary Ombudsman. That right of appeal is only available via your local MP. So I asked Rosie Cooper if she would submit my appeal, which only needs to be passed through the MP, that's all. Not only did Rosie refuse, but she insisted that a cease and desist letter applies to me, and that she basically is saying in this cease and desist that asking for her help is harassing and disruptive. Now, how can asking an MP to forward an email from the ICO to the Ombudsman, the Parliamentary Ombudsman, how can that be deemed harassing? How can that be seen as disrupting her? She's the MP. Her job is to deal with constituents, and I'm a constituent, and I'm asking her to undertake her role as an MP to pass on an appeal that just needs to go via her office. But she's now abusing her powers as an MP and sending out, using public funds, letterheaded paper, all the things that go towards her office. She's now sending a cease and desist letter to me saying, you can't ask me for my help. Well, I challenge you. Serve your cease and desist and bring some civil legal proceedings against me. I challenge you to that, because I would like to see what a judge would say about me asking you for help deserves me being deprived of any access to an MP. Of course, you don't need to help me, but excuses is what I don't want. And serving a threatening letter of a cease and desist, I call you out on that. I will still contact you as an MP because you're my MP, and I've got every right to ask or petition to my MP that for some help. You can't say that asking for help is harassing. If you can't do the job, stand down, give it to somebody else who can. But don't sit in that position, abusing that position, and tell me that I can't have access to an MP because you don't like me, or because you support Lancashire Police because they helped you, but you don't care that they don't help others. So this is a call out to Rosie Cooper. Stand down or man up and do your job. If you like this video, please hit the like and the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, and I will notify you of any new videos that come out. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the comments section below.